Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the absolutely fascinating geological secrets behind high-end gemstones. We're going to decode the rarity scale, looking purely at the science and the literal earth-shattering miracles that create the world's most valuable treasures. So, whether you're an avid collector or just really fascinated by how our planet works, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start off by looking at the big four precious stones. Then we'll explore fancy colored diamonds. And finally, we'll wrap up with rare and phenomenal gemstones. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The big four precious gemstones. All right, let's start by establishing our scientific baseline. Diamonds, formed from pure carbon, are famously the hardest natural material on Earth. They sit at a perfect 10 on the Mohs hardness scale. Now, as you probably know, diamonds are traditionally evaluated using the 4 C's. That's cut, color, clarity, and carat weight. Emeralds, which are a green variety of the mineral beryl, sit a bit lower on the hardness scale at 7.5 to 8. But check out sapphires and rubies on this chart. They both belong to the exact same mineral family, corundum. Scoring a 9, they are incredibly durable, making them totally safe for everyday wear. But while diamonds are prized for their colorless brilliance, their colored cousins hold completely different geological secrets. Think about how these stones are actually born. It's kind of wild. Most diamonds were formed billions of years ago under this intense, crushing pressure deep within the earth, before being blasted to the surface through what we call kimberlite pipes. Emeralds, however, they are born from coincidental miracles. To get that intense green color, you need trace amounts of chromium or vanadium. But beryllium and chromium exist in completely different layers of the Earth's crust. It literally takes violent tectonic collisions to force them together. That's why high-quality emeralds are geologically far rarer than diamonds. And because of that incredibly violent birth, virtually all natural emeralds have internal characteristics. But we don't call these flaws, we call them the jardin, which is French for garden. These trapped liquid bubbles and tiny fissures act as a botanical fingerprint of the stone's wild origin, essentially proving it was naturally crafted by the earth. Moving on to sapphires. Remember, these are part of the corundum family. Amazingly, sapphires naturally occur in every single color of the rainbow, except red. While the classic royal blue historically represents royalty and wisdom, the true collector's obsession right now is the ultra-rare padparacha. It's this glowing, sunset-like pink-orange stone that is just incredibly highly sought after. And this brilliantly illustrates our next question. If a sapphire can be any color except red, what exactly is a red corundum? Well, it's a ruby. A ruby is simply corundum that got a massive dose of chromium. The absolute pinnacle here is what we call pigeon's blood, a vivid, rich red with a slight blue undertone that makes the stone look like it's literally glowing from within. But you know, the real story with rubies is scarcity. Fine quality rubies over just one single carat are exceptionally rare. As the size increases, the price doesn't just double, it multiplies exponentially. In fact, they often command a much higher price per carat than a flawless diamond. Section 2. Fancy colored diamonds. So unlike classic white diamonds, fancy colored diamonds are valued strictly for the presence of color rather than the absence of it, and they occur in this vivid rainbow of fancy colors. Yellow diamonds get their hue from a nitrogen intruder, while blue diamonds are colored by trace amounts of boron. But pink and red diamonds, those are true miracles. They contain no extra trace elements at all. Their color is caused by physical distortions in the crystal lattice itself, making pure red the absolute rarest diamond color on Earth. To really grasp the value of these stones today, you literally only need one metric in mind: 90%. Historically, a staggering 90% of the world's colored diamonds, especially those intense pinks and vivid yellows, were supplied by a single location, the Argyle Mine in Western Australia. So the crucial point is this timeline right here. For decades, the Argyle Mine happily supplied the globe. But in late 2020, it permanently closed its doors because the reserves were completely tapped out. Today, we are in a massive global supply shortage for high-grade yellow and pink diamonds. Practically overnight, these gems transition from simple jewelry into finite, rapidly appreciating luxury assets. Section 3. Rare and phenomenal gemstones. Let's kick this final section off with tanzanite. Found exclusively in the Merelani Hills of Tanzania, this is a true single-source gem. Geologists estimate this one single deposit may be completely exhausted within just 20 to 30 years. Because its supply is so limited and could completely vanish within one human lifetime, it has famously earned the title of the ultimate generational stone. Adding to that allure, tanzanite is actually trichroic. What does that mean? Well, it's an optical phenomenon where the gem displays three distinct colors: blue, violet, and burgundy, depending entirely on the angle you view it from. It's incredibly dynamic and highly prized by collectors. Next up, we have a stone that takes optical illusions to the extreme: alexandrite. Its legendary reputation is perfectly summed up in one famous phrase: emerald by day, ruby by night. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer drama of this color shift. Thanks to trace elements acting like a light switch, alexandrite is a vibrant teal green in daylight. But step into incandescent light or candlelight, and boom, it immediately shifts to a purplish red. It is extremely rare, with high-quality stones commanding up to $40,000 per carat. Next is the Paraiba tourmaline. It's famous for an electric, glowing neon blue-green hue. That almost unnatural glow is caused by trace elements of copper and manganese, making it one of the most exclusive stones on the market today. But just how exclusive are we talking? Well, for every 10,000 diamonds mined from the earth, only one Paraiba tourmaline is found. That mind-boggling scarcity metric perfectly explains why its value is just astronomical. If you thought alexandrite was impressive, you have to meet caesarite, which is also known as zoltanite. Found only in Turkey's Anatolian mountains, what makes this single-source stone so exceptional is that it is 100% natural. It is never treated, heated, or enhanced by human hands in any way. Because while alexandrite shifts between two colors, caesarite is actually a triple color-shifting marvel. In sunlight, it flashes kiwi green. Walk into mixed indoor light, and it shifts to champagne. Sit down at a romantic candlelight dinner, and it turns raspberry pink. It's literally like owning three completely different gemstones in a single setting. We're going to wrap up our phenomenal stones with opals, which are celebrated for their play of color. Now, this isn't a chemical shift, it's structural. Light diffracts through millions of microscopic silica spheres inside the stone to create this amazing rainbow iridescence. The black opal from Australia is universally recognized as the rarest and most valuable variety. So, to recap everything we've covered today, we started with the big four. Diamonds, the hardest natural material, evaluated by the 4Cs and brought up through kimberlite pipes. We looked at emeralds, a beryl formed by rare collisions of elements like chromium or vanadium, giving us that beautiful natural jardin. We explored the corundum family, sapphires in every color but red, including the ultra-rare padprodosha, and rubies, where chromium creates that glowing pigeon's blood red that makes them so incredibly scarce over 1 carat. Then we moved on to fancy-colored diamonds, where intruder elements or lattice distortions create stunning colors, and we talked about the massive supply squeeze from the Argyle mine closure. Finally, we looked at phenomenal marvels: the trichoric, single-source tanzanite that might vanish in our lifetime, the incredible color-shifting alexandrite and cyrite, the neon-glowing Paraiba tourmaline, and the structural play of color found in Australian black opals. The sheer diversity of what the Earth can create under pressure is staggering, isn't it? So looking at all these incredible facts, which of these geological miracles would you choose as your ultimate generational stone? Thanks so much for joining this explainer.